Oh my gosh. It is 2:43 in the PM on a rainy Sunday on July 10th, 2022. And I'm sitting here like, where has the day gone? Well, I know exactly where the day is gone. And it all comes down to the fact that it was my anniversary weekend. So we ended up going to Boone, North Carolina. Fantastic, beautiful drive down from Virginia to North Carolina. And we had a very, very pleasant time at an Airbnb, which is something new that I've never tried before. Basically, it's better than a hotel, and it's got like a certain charm with all the notes and everything that direct you what you can do and make the life easier for everybody else that is there and stuff. It's very interesting. But in that time, I was able to stop at a few flea markets, an antique shop here or there, and it was very, very quick in and out on a few things, right? Basically, because my main goal was not to look for comic books, but I smelled them. I'm telling you, I smelled them, and I'm like, I got to go in here and look. I got to go look over there. So I'll be making a few assumptions. An RV B&B? No, AIR B&B is what it's called. Basically, somebody took their house, converted it into sections, and you get in a cozy little room and stuff. If you go to my Facebook, if you have me on Facebook, especially my wife tagged me in a few things, we actually have a picture of the room we were in. Very cozy, very nice. Liked it much better than a hotel. But in that time, I found some very low key keys. And right here we have Jared Osborne there. If you saw me jump on real quick out in the middle of the woods Friday night, uh, in the middle of him doing a Cavern of Chaos show and stuff, I actually showed some of these books. And man, I was jacked up on coffee this way as usual. Man, I just need to start getting jacked up on coffee and jumping on YouTube. It's much more entertaining. All right. As always, John C is there. Hit your bell and subscribe. Just like John C. Be like John C. He's always the first one here. But anyway, I was able to stop at a few places, and we're talking 10 minutes here, 20 minutes there. And that was about the extent of it, 3 or 4 places. The rest of the time was eating, enjoying the weekend, napping, walking around, having some fantastic food. uh, John Jones, time goes quickly. I swear you only got married like 6 months ago. Yeah, 2 years, man. It has flown by and it has been fantastic. I'm one of the lucky ones so far. I don't want to say too much. I don't want to jinx it and stuff, right? But in the meantime, in the mix of this haul that I got, because I got some major keys here and I've stalled enough time to let some people jump in here. But I have a few eBay things going on, right? I have found out that I've run across some great deals on eBay. I still have some more books coming in. So I also have some eBay books here to show and stuff, right? But anyway, on the road, I got some great keys, right? So basically, I'm going to show you a couple of the eBay books, and then we'll probably move on. There's another mix here somewhere, and then I'll get to the keys here, and we'll just have a good time here for a little bit. So let me get everything. Oh, I got a package I need to open. One of those eBay packages. So I'm going to show the eBay packages and eBay books, and then we'll just move on to something else here. There's not that many books that have come in. There's many more coming. I will tell you that. Okay. And I'm going to warn you, there's one book in here that I'm going to be down in Marvel, but it's not going to be a rant video, just to let you know. All right. Okay, are we ready for Comic Cam? Is Comic Cam ready for us? Let's see what happens. Let's bring him in. There's Comic Cam. All right, what we have here is one of my favorite books. It's actually a sort of unofficial crossover, wink and a nod, from 1976, 77 of between the Freedom Fighters and the Invaders. This is issue 14, which is actually a key book because it's the first appearance of the Crusaders. Never heard of the Crusaders? It's all right. Get your official handbook to the Marvel Universe out. But anyway, as you get on here, you see the Spirit of 76. This is right in the middle of World War II. The Invaders 14 and 15. It's a two-part story. But these Crusaders, there's another team of Crusaders that came out not too long after this at DC that fought the Freedom Fighters over at DC. Another set of World War II heroes finding themselves in the 70s this time, if you will. Right? Now, what's the significance of these two books is, well, the writer of Freedom Fighters came up with the idea of, came up with a few characters and was sort of like, wouldn't it be cool if the Invaders, the Freedom Fighters, Roy was able to do something with them also. Maybe it was a character of the main bad guy in this who was giving other characters superpowers. And Roy Thomas was able to get the Invaders out first with this idea. These Crusaders are actually a thinly veiled freedom fighters. This is Uncle Sam. This is, oh my God, what am I going blank on his name? Black Hawk. No, wait a minute. The Black Condor, excuse me. The Human Bomb, Phantom Lady. And then these guys, the freedom fighters, we have the Barracuda, Sparky, and a few guys. This is Namor, Human Torch, Toro, and there's a few more in there. So basically, these are just an excuse to actually let you use your imagination, and you'll see the Invaders versus Freedom Fighters and Freedom Fighters versus the Invaders to a certain extent with a plot, with those nasty ratsies, if you will, being involved. Okay. Now, here's what's cool about this. Spirit of 76 somehow got tied back into with Captain America somewhere along the line after this. But I think the Spirit, two of these characters to begin with, Captain Wings was already a Golden Age character in name. Roy Thomas brought out that name from the Golden Age. That's not the actual character, but there was a Captain Wings. Seems like Spirit of 76 somewhere along the line was the same thing. But these are just fun books. Number 14 has eluded me, as I think I need 7 or 8 more books to have the complete Invaders run. But a lot of people don't know about that secret crossover. Now, here's what's this here's, as the Invaders is the better written book. What really makes this interesting is when we get the origin of the DC Crusaders. Turns out that this Ratsy spy, if you will, went to a comic book convention and found a couple guys. And the Crusaders, when he gave them powers, are actually some second generation comic book fans and the first generation of writers to come in who were not ashamed of comics and did some great things. Turns out that they're Roy Thomas. Let me see. Marv Wolfman, Len Wein, Archie Goodwin, and Roy Thomas. They're the Crusaders for DC, the bad guys, given powers by a Ratsy, if you will, disguised as a Americommando, that version of Captain America. So, yeah, these Crusaders are a bunch of guys that wrote comics. Went a little meta there. It's fun stuff. So, yeah, I've got those all those issues now, and I've been wanting them for a while. What we got here? Jared Osborne. I just read that Marvel's coming out with an Invaders omnibus. Oh man, that's fantastic. I've got so many of the original series. That was one of the first series I read as a kid. It was like Avengers, Invaders, Justice League. It was in the mix and stuff that the stepdad was getting. I still have his books. If creators tried that now, they'd be sued. Yes, I wouldn't doubt it and stuff. And that's actually going to bring me up to this next book here. Grottos here. A rainy Sunday with comic books. Yes, it is another rainy Sunday. Been raining all day and it's fantastic. And here we are with comic books. That's fantastic. The way it should be. So what was wild is that I checked this out and had this ordered probably about a week or two before it came out. And when it came out, this is What If Miles Morales Became Thor. And unless you've been living under a rock, I think it's finally died down in the last week, to be honest with you. What a book, man. By pure luck, I ended up checking out a Marvel book. About somewhere in the last year to 2 years, somewhere in between that, I did a video where I was just letting people know that I will not be checking out Marvel Comics because I felt like there was something I couldn't put my finger on that I did not want to support with what they were doing. And that actually made a lot of people upset, as small as my channel is. One guy felt like he had the need to tell me that he was unsubbing and then continue to comment on videos I put after that. They may still be there. But he was just really mad that I wasn't going to cover modern Marvel. I was just out. A lot of the, a majority of the Marvel books that I would check out were just garbage, in my opinion. I'm not going to waste my money on garbage. So I wanted to put my finger back out there because there's been a couple of books that people who actually read comics in real life that I know said, you want to check this out, you might want to check that out. There's a few good things. Immortal Hulk being one of them, and we saw how long it took me to get on board with that. So yes, I know there are some. If you have a Marvel book out there that you like, great, that's fine, awesome, But this just showed me that I'm still not going to be collecting Marvel because this is the most cringe-worthy book ever. I may do a separate video on it for real. I might bring out my Power Man 91 from 1972, 3, whenever that came out. My Black Lightning from the #1 from 77, I think, is when that came out, or whatever. And I don't think that this was. I think this was pure ignorance with how this is handled in here. Unless you've been under a rock, and there's tons of videos out there that go through the book talking about it. This thing is just ignorant and insulting, and it's the kind of thing that makes, this is one of those books that if one of my friends, non-reader, my civilian friends, got a hold of and started reading in front of me and looking at me, I would be embarrassed that I collect comics. And if you watch this channel, that's just something that just isn't there. But this is the kind of thing it is. This thing is so bad and so stereotypical and so tokenized that I'm kind of like, this has to be a stunt. Are they that stupid? Somebody had to approve this for it to come out. But anyway, Miles Morales comes out as Thor. This is a what if universe. And it is so thugged out and ghetto like, and just I couldn't make it through it. I was like, this is just horrible. And as I understand it, the author of this book, who's apparently just a kid, decided to take his whole salary and apologize to people out on Twitter or whatever social media he feels is the real world when it's not. And he's going to give all his money that he made on this book to some charity or organization or something and everything. And I don't think he's the one that really needs to apologize. I think I think he apologized to the wrong people. And I think that the higher ups there should apologize for this book to be coming out. He turned in the script. Other people approved it and read it, and nobody said anything, or else it wouldn't have come out. But yeah, so we have a very weird collectible now in my collection that I'm just going to be like, what do I do with this? So The Boys, Garth Ennis, The Boys, all right? Something about season 3 of this show on Amazon has just taken off, and that is fantastic. I love the fact that The Boys has made it 3 seasons on Amazon, and that slow burn that was going on just seems to have paid off, and it is on fire for the 3rd season that's going on, right? And this made issue number 7 a collectible. I jumped on issue... what was it? It's got the hamster on the cover. Issue 5 of The Boys, back when it came out in the late 2000s. I jumped on there, stopped collecting one book, decided I was going to get this book, and I was there with them, and I'm probably missing 5 issues. Now, before the TV show came out, I probably was missing 9 issues of oh my God, is it 72 issue run? 62 issue run? I'm going blank, man, but the box is right here beside me and stuff, right? So I figured it might have been time to go ahead and start picking up those books that I need to complete my run if I'm going to do it. I also have a bunch of them in trade back here, right? So, yeah, I've been with The Boys since I think this book started coming out in maybe 2007. And then, as you know, the first 6 issues were put out by Wildstorm. Garth Ennis pulled something with a hamster and an anus. And they were like, here you go, man. You get no hard feelings, Graham or Garth Ennis, but we can't really publish this. Here's all the rights. Take it where you want. And lo and behold, Dynamite took it, and we're like, keep doing what you're doing. And now we have the TV show that is on fire. But this is a variant cover to issue number 7, where they introduce a character called the Legend, which apparently popped up in an episode in the 3rd season. I am probably 3 episodes, 2 to 3 episodes behind on the third season. It's just easier for me to binge it. There's actually so much talking in The Boys that I just kind of fast forward through the episodes. And I'm not missing a thing doing it that way. So imagine my surprise when I've ordered this on eBay for, if I wasn't using Comic Cam Humor, I looked, but I think I got this for like $3.99, if anything, plus $3 shipping, maybe. And then it blew up because the episode came out. So where they had Paul Reiser playing the Legend. This is the first appearance of the Legend, the variant cover, if you will. Right now, these are fun books. Okay, you know what we got here. Hey, what's up, Sequential Geek is here. Nice to see you. Haven't seen you in a while. It feels like five covers for that issue. Yep, I hear you. I got you. You're absolutely right. John Jones. I like Carl Urban as Billy, but I can also picture him as Tommy Monaghan. Yeah, I could see that. Okay, nice. Yeah, Carl Urban, man, I've just got tons. He just gets the coolest. He's an uncelebrated, underappreciated actor for all the cool um, roles he's played and stuff. I mean, wasn't the dude? Isn't this a dude that was Judge Dredd in the Dredd movie back in 2012? The one that they got it right, and it's a crime against nature that we don't have a sequel or a show starring him in it. But anyway, filling in those gaps since I'm not really buying that many new books. And side note, my Gmart comic book shop, my online shopping orders have accumulated to $85, and they have already sent me. My books are being sent to me as we speak, so there'll be a live show when those books come in. I have some good stuff coming in. But anyway, going back and got these for 99 cents a piece on eBay, which was no big deal, but I need the Young All-Star Annual to go with this. But there's a lot of Baxter series from the 80s that were direct market that I'm completing. And Young All Star, this is post Crisis on Infinite Earth, where Roy Thomas had built up the Earth 2 World War II heroes, and then he and Jerry Ordway come up with Infinity Incorporated, which is the second generation of Earth 2 heroes around 1983. And then they got their own series, the first 10 to 12 issues of this series, Infinity Inc. Incorporated, if you will. I think is a classic, great story. And then all of a sudden, Crisis happened, and they eliminated the multiple Earths. Now there's one, and Roy had to readjust things, right? He had to readjust Infinity Incorporated. He had to because there's no Earth 2. Everybody's on one Earth now, And he had to readjust the All-Star Squadron due to there being no of your big-time heroes, no Aquaman, no Wonder Woman, no Superman, no Batman. In World War II, they were all in present time. So anyway, he ended up coming up with a per Degaton story that ran in 2 annuals, Infinity Inc. and Connecting One Young All Stars #1. If you at this time you could shake a stick and open up a DC comic and see the advertisement for it, it's sort of a big deal. But anyway, this is just being a completist in me there, right? I just now need the Young All-Star Annual. And I think I'm down to needing 5 issues. Infinity Incorporated #16 seems to be a major key issue because it has the first appearance of a character named Mr. Bones. I got outbid for that. All these were 99 cents. That one shot up to $20.96. I wasn't really watching it because I'm like, I wasn't really keeping track of it because it's Infinity Incorporated. I had no idea. I knew it was a key. I figured it'd be like, I put like 550 on it, little did I know. So apparently I missed some news, but here's issue 30. And yes, Todd McFarlane has been in comics much longer than you thought. Roy Thomas picked up Infinity Incorporated around issue 13 or 14, and it was on for probably over 2 years and stuff, right? So anyway, in memoriam, this is the issue where they take a breather. Roy Thomas did the Justice Society special where they died, and they're in a infinite loop fighting Ragnarok. And now we get to see how all the heroes are affected that knew them with the Justice Society dying. This is one of those emotional issues. And Todd McFarlane did a lot of very interesting and creative art designs on the pages, if you will. Okay. Here's number 25, where we get the new Our Man, which was Our Woman. Our Man #2. That was Rex Tyler's son. We get a new Wildcat, and we get a new Dr. Midnight official, even though they cameoed before. But issue 25, that was just an oddity that you can never find, probably because of that cover. And his Todd McFarlane in his, I believe, second or third issue, doing this is like 84, 85, 1985. So here's Todd McFarlane doing a series. Little did we know that within 2 to 3 years, he would become a major superstar, because he actually was getting some attention for all the wrong reasons with what he was doing in this book. So yeah, we have those. Okay, let's check the comments, and we'll get on to the low key keys that I found in Boone, North Carolina. That's the eBay stuff. All right. We got oh, hey, what's up, Shannon? Good to see you, brother. Hope you're feeling better. Yep. Shannon and I, we have a lot of the same taste in a lot of the same books, which is it's actually spooky sometimes. All right, so Boone, North Carolina is just a little bit over 2 hours for me, and I was surprised to find a few back roads that I knew about, but they all connected. And if I could go over 45 miles per hour and 55 miles per hour, it's Boone, North Carolina is probably the air miles makes it much closer to us, but due to the driving and the curvy roads and a road that goes over a mountain called Back of the Dragon, which they made into a tourist trap around here. It's a back road that goes up a mountain, and it has something like 72 curves. We've been taking it for decades here. It was it was the road that connected Marion, Virginia, Hungry Mother's Park with Tazewell, Virginia, for decades before they made the 4 lanes and stuff, and it's still a shortcut. Well, now they've turned it into what's called Back of the Dragon. You can look this up online. Back of the Dragon, Tazewell, Virginia. And now we have like really rich people coming down in their car clubs, I guess the automobile clubs, their Porsche clubs. They come down here with their sports cars and their shiny Porsches. And then we have motorcycle clubs coming down, and they all film, and they're always like getting together, and they're trying to take those curves as much as they could, as fast as they can and stuff. But yeah, that's our tourist trap here. So we took that, went to Boone, North Carolina, and I found it was really odd. We stopped somewhere in a place called Damascus, Virginia. That's part of the Appalachian Trail, which is a beautiful place. We stopped and ate there, but there's this dude with his wife, and it looked like his mom or grandmother or mother-in-law or something. But I looked over there, and there was like a little yard sale within this building. Outside, they had a table, and you can see that the kids and stuff were running outside of this abandoned building, and I could smell it. I'm like, they have comics in there, and they did. The guy had bought. I don't want to say he got bait and switched, because I went through everything he had, but if he's telling me the story right, he bought a long box for $500, and he probably had about 25 really good keys in there, and he was trying to sell it to me for $750. And then I picked out about, I don't know, 16 books, and he gave me an outrageous price, and I cut it down by more than half. And then he went up a little bit by 10, and I just threw him a bone, because I started putting together, he bought this $500 worth of books off with $500 he probably needed, thinking that he's going to flip it for 4 or 5 times the money. Good luck to him. I hope he can, because the books were not taken care of, except for assorted books through there. They didn't even have bags and boards, so a lot of them have dog ears in them, dog-eared corners on them. I have bagged them stuff. I didn't bag these so I could really show what's going on. A little bit of water damage on some of them, but the worst thing is that they have mouse nibbles on some of the edges and corners. And when I show you one of the books that has the mouse nibbling on it, not my first time. Ironically, not my first time that I've gotten damaged comics due to mice. But I couldn't pass it up. I'm like, I could probably make my money back on throwing this together as a lot on eBay, making sure people know it's low grade. What is this? Hey, Tylok Samadi is there. I'm about to show some of those books I showed Friday on Jared's channel. I was just watching you last week vid, and then saw you arrived online. Yeah, we just got back a little while ago from this Boone, North Carolina trip. And then we have Ride the Snake to the Lake, the Ancient Take, Baby Now. That's not bad. Dog, you do not look half as hungover as last week's vid you made. I should not have been on camera last week. Let's just put it that way. We'll just leave that. Yeah, I went back and watched that, and I'm like, I look like death. So anyway, they get better, folks. I think the way I have them in here. So I have these books, and I have the ones that I bought when they came out, but it's the Professor Hulk, if you will. 376, 377, 379. There was a breather issue to keep you hanging in between 377 and 379 because of the debut of Professor Hulk. If you've read these stories, you know what I'm talking about. Gray Hulk, Dale Keown art, Gray Hulk versus Green Hulk with Bruce Banner. How could that be? How could this happen? Aren't they all the same person? Well, you got to read the story. And we come up with some really great stuff, right? But like I said, here's a little bit of damage and stuff, right? I'm probably just going to put this lot on eBay and make sure people know that it's a low, that it's low grade. But there you go. There's a little bit of the mouse chewing on the book. Okay. It's not on all of them, but it's there, right? And then this one, I thought I was getting by. I was like, not too bad, not too bad for a book from 1986 celebrating the 25th anniversary. I have this one. And then when I got it out that night, like I said, we were driving, we needed to go eat. I'm just flipping through all his books real quick. He keeps talking to me, but as I got up there, I saw faintly somebody had drawn little eyes in Spider-Man's little white eye holes, whatever, in his mask there, right? And it's like you don't notice it at first, but once you see it, you can't unsee it once you find it. So not too bad, not too shabby. Like I said, I already have this one, the one I bought off the rack back in the day. Good stuff. And then this is a run of books that I got rid of for some reason. Walt Simonson came on, and it was just an odd run. I was a huge Avengers collector as a kid. I probably got issue 250 all the way to like 311 straight through off the rack as they came out. But when Walt Simonson came on, I was all excited, and it was just an odd run. It felt very weird, had great advertisements. I ended up getting rid of it over the years, right? So we got this, and ironically, these are not chewed up. Not a great run, in my opinion, but they're not chewed up. Go figure. Um, so 291, 296, the Avengers were actually dismantling throughout this whole series. Weird things were going on. And of course, we have this big key because of Kong the Conqueror supposedly being the villain for Phase 4 of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I find the last one I found was in a dollar box, maybe, and I got it in a bundle for like 86 cents for all the books. Kind of the same thing with this one a little bit, even though this one's yellowed and ate up everything. But this has the first appearance of Nathaniel Richards of the Kong Council, thinking that they're going to be bringing in the Fantastic Four with this Kang thing, and that's Reed Richards' dad. A lot of people really speculating. Now this one's beat all to shit, no doubt it. Claim. I know what you're wanting. I know what you're wanting. Anyway, but this is issue 333, an early Venom cover appearance, if you will, but it's Eric Larson. And the way people spec and decide what books are hot, you just never know what's going to happen. But I had all these books also back in the day. I may very well still have this one. I don't know. I'm still cataloging comics. But this one's pretty beat up. But, it's Eric Larson in a no-win situation. You get the chance to be on the Incredible Hulk. You get the chance to be on Amazing Spider-Man. You get the chance to be on some big tier books at Marvel, but you're following Todd McFarlane. It's a no-win situation. Do you take the book, or do you keep following Todd McFarlane because that's where they're putting you? I feel for Eric Larson on that. And then here we go. Yes. Now, what's great about social media, what's great about me doing YouTube is there's not a lot of room for me to make mistakes or misremember things, right? This is the third one. I bought this off the rack, and I think it was in 1993. I ended up selling my entire X-Men run because I needed money. I ended up, just needed the money. And this X-Men number 266 was not that hot back then at all, right? But I had it off the rack. And then a couple years ago, I found some amazing comics. And I took pictures of them. They're on Instagram. I did a video, but probably around 2016, I found this for $2. I sold it. I flipped it amongst other books. And then a month later, I regretted it. And after I made a video, I went out to another flea market and I found another one for $1. And I sold it. I flipped it and bought some other books. Go figure. So then I found this one. Now, this one is beat up. And part of a face group called Collectors Forum. That's a private group, and it's relatively small, less than 100 members, and it's smaller, which makes it better because we know most of the people know each other in the group, and they've been really supportive. When I showed the damage on this, they've been like, "Man, that's still worth about $100," and all this stuff and everything like that. So here's the first appearance of Gambit, just laying there amongst it all. And when it comes to a mouse chewing it up, it's nowhere near as bad as the other book I showed you. It's actually just frayed along the edges. It does not go into the book itself. Okay. Well, like I said, this thing was not bagged, not boarded, just in a stack of books. I find it to be the content I actually find to be underwhelming because they were doing bi-weekly books when this came out. Spider-Man was bi-weekly, X-Men were bi-weekly. I'm sure some other books were bi-weekly. So they had a bunch of fill-in artists to come in to help out. And this is drawn by a guy named Mike Collins. And I mean, it's not horrible stuff, but it's no Mark Silvestri and Jim Lee at the time. But it's just, I find it a bland book, a bland story. Like I said, it's just a key book because it's supposedly the first appearance of Gambit. But where I was buying the books the X-Men annual came out. The X-Men annual came out 2 to 3 weeks on the newsstand before this. So I was really confused for a few years where people were calling this the first appearance of Gambit. But apparently it's recognized. You can hear my voice. I'm not ungrateful. I'm just sort of, I don't know. I get this book and then I want to get rid of it, and then it goes up in value, and that's just a thing, just a thing. I think I like the books that I go back and I know I can read over, but what can you do? But anyway, the arrogance in me is coming out, and that's a flaw. I totally know. Get all self-righteous about certain books and it's just comics. Eric Larson was the best at drawing Mary Jane. That is from Gator. Hippie Collectibles is here. Excelsior True Believers. Great to see you, Hippie. Awesome. Hippie and I are Facebook friends, so even though we don't talk a whole lot, I kind of know what's been going on with him a little bit, as much as he shares on there. John Jones, I've never really been a Spider-Man fan, but did read Kraven's Last Hunt, which was great. John Jones, you've done it again. Just wait. If you're still there, just wait. Something's coming. All right, everybody's glad to see each other. Here we go. What we got here? Shannon, I didn't even know I had that Gambit issue until I did my organization room overhaul a couple years ago. Laugh out loud. Yeah, I've been there with quite a few things. And then I've also had that thing where I thought I had something and didn't. So we'll just get that out of the way. Now, this was not from a yard sale yard sale haul. We'll just call those yard sale hauls, right? But this was an antique shop, and I fell down when I saw it. They had records, right? This guy had records, right? I'm going to show you some of the things I bought. Oh, these were 50 cents a piece. This was for something else. But anyway, I got these records out of this guy's booth, right? See if they'll come up. This is the extended vinyl single of a song called Mountains, one of my favorite Prince songs. And I love that it's not overexposed like Raspberry Beret and stuff. But yeah, this is oh my God, is this 33? I'm going blank now. 45? Anyway, it's an extended single. They had these back in the day. 2-minute version of the song. These were really cool, right? This is my second Prince single, but I have a near mint couple Prince albums. And then this was very cool. I had to get this. I changed my whole day that day when I found this. But I have the Superman 2 soundtrack on vinyl. I'm going to have to put these on Instagram later today. But yeah, this is the soundtrack for Superman 2. And just to let people know, all these younger kids and stuff, before we get too far out there, this is the score, the music you hear. While the movie's playing. This isn't a soundtrack as in 20 different bands came on and all gave a song that was in the movie. So this is really good stuff, man. But anyway, I'm really happy to have this. But yeah, stuff like this just makes my day. As you understand, I was, you know, 5 years old when Superman, Christopher Reeve's first Superman movie came out, and then I was probably 8 or 9 when the second one came out. Perfect time, right? So anyway, in that same lot, this guy had all these records. He had a few little stacks of books, nothing spectacular. And he said that he had another booth in the antique store and asked for it. And he actually had this locked up, right? But your eyes do not deceive you. All it's got is a little bend, not even quite a spine roll, but it's something that will flatten itself out if I pack it in some comics. But I have a beautiful copy of Micronauts #1, which has, I have never understood why this book blew up as a key. I totally own that I missed something here, but it's the first appearance of Captain Universe, the entity that will pick somebody and that will get the Captain Universe powers. I guess he's a little bit of an existential character that will possess somebody and they'll have his powers long enough to complete the destroy the enemy that he feels they need to destroy or something. Captain Universe didn't really, in my opinion, hit big until he took over Spider-Man in the 90s. It was ha ha he he. All of a sudden, Spider-Man's got powers, and it was the Captain Universe stuff. But yeah, here we go. Enter Captain Universe, Micronauts #8. Got it for a steal. A steal. I actually did look up to see how much this was. I haven't, how much it's worth. I have no idea, but I got a great deal on it. Really great deal on it. And then these books were in the same set of books where they had been eaten up. Hold on, we have a computer issue. We got people coming in. Eric Breen, what's with the late start? I mean, hey Tim, what's up, man? I've been in Boone, North Carolina for the our anniversary weekend, and we got home. I don't even know what time now. We got home about an hour and a half ago. So I'm showing off some things I bought. All right. Oh wow, hippies excited for me. Thank you. Okay, cool. Oh no, yeah, I got it. So anyway, but these books, I'm going to show you what they were in. I'm pretty sure these are in 34-year-old bags, is what these were in. And that's why they were enough of a mouse deterrent, I guess, to where these did not get chewed up like the first appearance of Gambit and stuff, right? And as I was taking, I mean, you could feel these things turning into Vaseline, right? That's why I'm pretty sure these are the original 34-year-old bags. And as I untaped them, the bag was peeling off, and you can feel the residue, like it's like sticky Vaseline coming off of them. But like, I feel like if I just let these, if I just crumble these up and stuff, they're going to turn into Vaseline or oil and stuff. So my guess is these are polyethylene bags, not polypropylene bags. But anyway, they've done their job. They've protected these books very well. And what we have here is a complete set of Kraven's Last Hunt. I have mine from where I got them on the rack. Now, when was this? 87? In 1987, when I was 14, it was crazy to hear that Mike Zeck and James DeMantis was going to put out a book a week to tell this Spider-Man story through all the Spider-Man books, right? There's a lot of things we're used to, a lot of things that don't impact us like they used to, but this sounded like the plan of two crazy men. Like, how can that be? And then I was like, maybe they've been working on it for a while. You know what I mean? Like, and then I started seeing little shortcuts and stuff. And one of these books, the splash page is a little naked Peter Parker in the fetal position, off in the corner, so there's little tricks there I could see where he was able to get an extra page done by just, drawing very little. But other than that, this, like I said, this has stood the test of time. Of course, we know that this was originally a Joker story that James DeMantis wanted to do at DC, and they turned it down. Well, he took it and he adjusted the story to be a Spider-Man story with Kraven's Last Hunt. And then years later, in Tales of the Dark Knight, he got to put out a story. I'm trying to think, was it Joe Staton that drew it? Well, anyway, but it was called Going Sane with the Joker, and I was able to collect that. So if you liked Kraven's Last Hunt, you need Going Sane. And there's not a lot of comparison for the two after I've read them both. Maybe I need to read them side by side, but you would not have guessed that that was the template for this. So yeah, there we go. So anyway, the only thing I can say is that this is the newsstand edition, which seems to be a big deal now. It's part 1 with Spider-Man 31. It's really odd. Even been in that bag this whole time. I don't want to say that it's a discoloring, but there is sort of a bleaching of the colors a little bit. Otherwise, this thing still smells like a brand new comic book. So what I'm saying, leaving it in the bag for at least 34 years, in my opinion, did the trick. The insides underneath the cover very fine, but I think there was some bleaching going on of the color. Something was going on. It just, and it's not something you would notice. It's just got a different little bit of a hue. But I think if you put it side by side with the one that I bought off the rack when this came out, you would definitely see a difference. Other than that, it's still flat, beautiful, glossy somehow. Part 2, a little bit better shape. On and on. Part 3, Protector Spider-Man. By this point, it's just a normal comic. You open these up and it smells like a brand new book from that era in time. Number 4, a lot of people absolutely love this cover. A lot of people consider this to be one of those classic Spider-Man covers, but I'm not one of them. It's a very dramatic cover that sells the story, gets your attention, wants you to have it. And to me, this story is of its era. This is one of the great stories of the 80s. This is one of the greatest stories of Spider-Man of all time. Let me put it out there, even though it's more Kraven centric and stuff, right? You didn't know what was going on or where it was coming. It's very dark for that grim and gritty time of the 80s. But this is the one that I consider one of the greatest covers of all time. If you step back and look at everything that Mike Zeck packed into this, the perspective, the feeling that you know exactly where you're at. It looks like you're in a hunting lodge. We even have like a rhino mounted on the wall, Spider-Man hiding in the corner, an elephant head there. And then, of course, we have Kraven hunting him down with weapons. Fantastic. Just a fantastic series. And then, of course, issue 132. So thank goodness, whatever the situation was, they were in those bags, because these are actually beautiful copies, except for the first one being a little iffy with the cover. And like I said, it's probably not that big of a difference. It's probably because I'm looking for it. So I was really lucky to find those. I got on eBay to see how much these were selling. I saw some of them going for $100 to $108 for the complete set. I didn't see any selling. I just saw that's what people were charging. And I might need to go back and look at that again to make sure I'm giving you, I just know what I saw on my phone for a few minutes when I was sitting around, drinking a cup of coffee over the weekend. So yeah, I looked up, got to all these books that were sitting around. So they're out there, guys. If you go out there and you kind of try to be a little bit vigilant and take a few chances and ask the people running these yard sales, even if they're not showing comic books, ask them if they have them. And then keep your poker face on. Always be ready to walk off, if you don't get what you want. This guy asked me a completely outrageous price, and I was like, no. And I told him exactly what I would give him because of the condition, and he took it. Like I said, I think big part of the negotiation, at least with this, is it's just at the end of the day, it's just a comic book. Just take a shot and be willing to walk away. I think that affects the person trying to sell it to you, seeing if you're willing to. So let's take a look at what I have here. This is a package that came in, and I actually won this book. This is a book by Philip Jose Farmer. I won this on June 8th, and it just got here on July 8th, the day we left. So it's been it's been out there. But this was a $5 used book. I've been wanting to read this. This book was actually in the house. Let me bring me back here. This book was actually in the house when I was a kid, and it disappeared. And as I got older and got more curious, and the book would pop in my head, sometimes I would forget about the book. Sometimes I would forget about the title of it. But this is one of those books that it's called A Feast Unknown by Philip Jose Farmer. And I kind of know why it sort of disappeared on me when I was a kid in the house and when I wanted to read it. I'd pick up some Tarzan here and there. I'd read, you'd see Tarzan on Saturday mornings. I have the 1984 Tarzan movie, which is fantastic. And, the Bo Derek Tarzan movie. And then I'd get curious and read this. PBS was showing the serials from the 30s and stuff. And then I'd be like, oh, this has Tarzan in it? Well, yes and no. The Walden Books, I think that's always Pal was here to make sure I'm saying that right. But Philip Jose Farmer is a huge pulp fan. and he's written. Uh, he's been heavily influenced by pulp. Hold on.